You ever land your dream job, only to realize you walked straight into a corporate trap? I remember the day I got the offer letter. TechSpark Solutions, a company that promised diversity, inclusion, and changing the world. I was the only Black woman on the team, but I told myself, representation starts somewhere. Then it started. People talked over me. My ideas were too aggressive. They said I didn't smile enough. One day, I presented a solution to a bug in the system. They dismissed it. Next day, Mark said the same thing. Applause. Every day, I shrunk myself to fit in until they told me I didn't. They said I wasn't a cultural fit, but when I walked into that exit interview, I made sure they'd never forget my name. I sat across from the HR manager. She gave me that same polite smile they all used, the one that says, "Let's just get this over with." She asked if I had any feedback before leaving, so I gave her feedback. Real feedback. I told her how I stopped getting invited to team brainstorms, how they'd schedule spontaneous meetings after I clocked out, how my white coworkers asked to touch my hair like I was some office pet. I showed her the receipts, the ignored complaints, the HR notes that went nowhere. And then I asked one question. If I were a white man, would I still be here? She blinked, then reached for her notebook. Too late, sis. You don't get to take notes when the story's already written. They fired her in silence. But now, her story's everywhere, and the company's scrambling to control the damage. I walked out of TechSpark with my story burning inside me. But silence only protects the powerful. So I told the truth. The real truth. On TikTok, on LinkedIn, on every platform I had. Turns out I wasn't alone. Black women, Latinas, first-gen grads, all saying the same thing, same company, same script. They released a PR statement full of empty words. But I wasn't interested in apologies. I wanted accountability, because this wasn't just about me. It was about the next Black girl they tried to silence. They thought she left quietly, but she had one more card to play, and it brought their whole empire crashing down. Before I left, I did one last thing. I backed up everything. The fake diversity numbers they gave investors, the unofficial blacklist for outspoken employees, the D&I committee that hadn't met in 6 months. I had proof. So I sent it all, anonymously, to someone who could make them listen. TechSpark accused of diversity fraud, former employee speaks out. 1 week later, it was everywhere. They tried to end my career, but I turned the truth into my platform. Because being not a cultural fit, that's just code for you made us uncomfortable with your power. Because it's no longer about revenge, it's about revolution. They tried to erase her. Now Fortune 500s are begging for her to speak at their events. After the storm, I had 2 choices, stay bitter or build better. So I started my own company, a space where diversity wasn't a checkbox, it was the blueprint. We called it Culture Shift, and in just 6 months, we secured our first major client. Now, the same companies that once ignored voices like mine, they're paying for my insight. I went from being not a cultural fit to defining what the new culture is. You don't have to sit at their table, you can build your own and serve a feast they can't ignore. And to every voice they tried to silence, we hear you now. Comment, own the room if this story inspired you. Follow for more real stories, we're just getting started.